This is an ancient site swallowed by a tropical rainforest. Among the greenery, the spire of the Mayan pyramid emerges from the mist, like a sleeping monument. This huge stone tablet is covered with complex carvings. The sun shines in the center, and the inscriptions glow slightly. Deep in the jungle of Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula stands the remains of the Chichen Itza pyramid, which has been quietly guarding the secrets of an ancient civilization for hundreds of years. And one day in 2009, a piece of news caused global panic. The Mayan calendar will end on December 21st, 2012, and the world will end on that day. That year, the whole world seemed to be caught in a cultural doomsday countdown. Books, movies, and documentaries revolved around this theme, and people's hearts were stirred by an unspeakable primitive fear. All this originated from the Mayan Long Count circular stone carvings. The carvings are so complex that they seem to have the logic of mechanical operation, with the sun god, feathered serpent god, and obsidian dagger intertwined in them. One of the tablets is inscribed with End Day and 2012 on it, but the world did not end on that day in 2012. There was no disaster, no big explosion, and even the power grid was not interrupted. So the question is, did the Mayans really predict the end of the world? Or does the stone tablet engraved with End Day actually tell about another cosmic logic that we have not yet understood? The end of December 21st, 2012 may be the beginning of another world. On the next journey, we will return to the heart of Mayan civilization and uncover the cosmic model behind this mysterious calendar. You will see, this is not only an ancient timekeeping system, but also a deep information system about time cycles, consciousness awakening, and the reincarnation of civilization. John Major Jenkins, the interpreter of the Dresden Maya manuscript, once wrote, "The world will not end, but a certain mode of human cognition is changing." Long before the advent of modern science, the Mayans were constructing a system of time that was astonishingly sophisticated. They not only observed the sunrise and the position of the stars, but also regarded time as a conscious entity. It is not a straight line, but a living cycle. This is the structural diagram of the Mayan Long Count Calendar. It is composed of multiple time units such as Baktun, Kartan, and Tuen, and each unit is shockingly accurate. Their calendar is far more than the year, month, and day we understand, but a time engine composed of 5 cyclic units. Each big cycle lasting 125 years is seen as a journey of rise and fall of human civilization. And 2012 is just the end of one cycle, but it may also be the beginning of another. Back in 755 AD, during the Palenque dynasty on the Yucatan Peninsula, a priest stood on an astronomical platform, holding a stone tablet with hieroglyphics, comparing it with the trajectory of Venus in the night sky. Mayan priest combined astronomy with politics. They chose the day of coronation, the time of war, and even predicted famine and dynasty change by observing the stars. They believe that time is not a dead thing, but the flow of the will of the gods on the earth. Let's look at the consistency between the Venus cycle and the Mayan calendar. Venus orbits once every 584 days and is closely related to Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent god revered by the Mayans. In the eyes of the Mayans, every star carries a message from God. They have woven a cosmic script that binds the fate of mankind to the operation of celestial bodies. The stone tablet with "the end of the world" written on it is just the changing moment of this cosmic drama. Let's go to the Archaeological Museum. In the display case is a page from the Dresden manuscript, which depicts a flood, a raging fire, and a rising sun, with the words "End of the 13th Baktun" written on the edge of the manuscript. But we must note that this is not destruction, but resetting. Just like a clock completes a circle and the pointer returns to 0, it is not a collapse but the bell of another cycle. They never said the world would end. They just said, "The 13th Baktun will be 0, said archaeologist Marina Martinez, a researcher at Mexico's National Institute of History and Anthropology, in an interview. She pointed to the inscription and smiled. All misunderstandings stem from this mysterious string of numbers, 13.0.0.0.0. This is a special node in the Mayan Long Count Calendar, known as the end of the 13th Baktun. However, modern society understands it as the end clock. In 1987, American writer José Argüelles published The Mayan Factor, which attracted widespread attention by combining the Mayan calendar with changes in the Earth's magnetic field and the energy transformation of the new era. Argüelles was the first person to propose that 2012 is the node of consciousness leap, but his theory was quickly simplified and amplified by the mainstream media, and eventually evolved into a hotbed of global panic. This is the Hollywood disaster film 2012, released in 2009. Earthquakes, tsunamis, land collapse, the entire Earth seems to be destroyed and turned upside down. What really made the end of the world theory popular around the world was the entertainment industry. Disaster movies, best-selling books, and online rumors have reduced the complex Mayan cosmology to a single alarmist slogan: 2012, the end of the world. John Hawkins said in The Misunderstood Calendar, "No Mayan inscription ever said humanity will become extinct in 2012. It's just that Westerners misread end as destruction." Some conspiracy theorists and advocates of the ancient alien theory use Mayan totems to give play to their imagination, interpreting 2012 as the return of aliens, the Earth's dimensional upgrading, and doomsday cleansing. However, most of these statements lack historical basis and are more like modern people's fantasy projection of the unknown ancient times. In fact, the real meaning of 13.0.0.0.0 is, one cycle is 5125 years. When the 13th Bacton returns to zero, time does not end, but it is the starting button for the next round of time journey. 2012 is the completion node of a cycle in the Mayan calendar, just like an instrument reset to zero and restart, entering a new vibration frequency. It is not an end, but an update. Let us return to the top of the Chichen Itza pyramid. The sun is rising from the east, and the light and shadow are precisely aligned with the edge of the steps. This is not a sign of destruction, but a commemoration of alignment. But the question remains unanswered. If this is not the end of the world, then what does the new cycle it heralds mean? Are we really at a turning point in civilization? The Maya believed that everything in the universe moves in cycles. Stars have trajectories, consciousness has rhythms, and civilizations have ups and downs. And this whole philosophy of time is not based on fantasy. Modern astronomy and astrophysics are verifying its amazing accuracy. In the Mayan calendar, the cycle zero node in 2012 corresponds exactly to the galactic alignment event. This is a rare astronomical phenomenon. The center lines of the solar system, the Earth and the Milky Way, are perfectly aligned, and this is what they regard as an opportunity for energy restart. In the Popol Vuh manuscript, there is a myth about the creation of the universe. The sky splits, the sun passes through the dark portal, and consciousness is reborn. In Mayan mythology, the center of the Milky Way is the black sun, a gateway to the source of consciousness. Their calendar is built around the opening and closing of this cosmic door. Astrophysicist and physicist Dr. Nathan Hacks pointed out, the galactic alignment phenomenon did reach its maximum precision around 2012. Although this will not cause a disaster, it does correspond to a change in the distribution of cosmic energy received by the Earth. In the Mayan Venus calendar, the orbital period of Venus is 584 days, and the Mayan era is no more than 1 day. Display the comparison table with solar eclipses, lunar eclipses, climate change, and even war cycles. Their view of time is not linear but spiral and upward, just like a spiral, repeating over and over again, but unfolding at a higher frequency each time. Our modern science is also gradually moving towards this non-linear holographic cognitive model. From the vibration of microscopic particles to the rotation of cosmic star clusters, from ancient Mayan astronomical stone carvings to modern quantum theory, we begin to realize that time may be a field, a frequency, and a carrier of consciousness. What they called the end never referred to destruction, but rather the next alignment of consciousness. Let's take a bird's-eye view of the world map and the rise and fall of ancient sites of different civilizations, such as ancient Egypt, Sumer, Indus, Maya, and ancient China. Each of them corresponds to a cycle in the Mayan Long Count Calendar on the timeline. The large cycle in the Mayan Long Count, 5125 years, is not a random number. Could it correspond to a deeper rhythm of Earth civilization? a civilization cycle that is not just an astronomical phenomenon, but is closely related to the evolution of human consciousness and the reconstruction of social order. The timeline begins in 3114 BC, the starting point of the Mayan Fifth Sun Age. This time point actually corresponds precisely to the establishment of the first dynasty of ancient Egypt, the formation of the Sumerian city-state, and the early development of the Indus civilization. Inexplicable coincidences emerged one after another. Just as the Fifth Sun Age began, a sudden civilization leap occurred on a global scale. Writing was created, observatories were built, pyramids, temples, calendars, and sacrificial systems were born almost simultaneously on different continents. Historian Dr. Gregory Linton, author of Ancient Synchronicity, noted, "We used to think that these were miracles of independent origin, but their synchronization in time began to make us question whether there was some kind of collective consciousness triggering mechanism." Let us go back to the period between 1000 BC and 500 BC. The world once again entered the axial age, and the births of spiritual mentors such as Confucius, Sakyamuni, Socrates, and Jesus were almost concentrated in the same era. If we regard 5125 years as a cycle of civilization breathing, then 2012 is the moment when civilization cycle returns to zero, and returning to zero often means two directions, degradation or transition. The Yuga of Hinduism, the gold, silver, bronze, and iron age of ancient Greece, the dynastic table of Sumer, the 7 days of creation of the Bible. All these myths are actually telling us that human beings have been restarted again and again. Aaron Cooper, lecturer at MIT's Institute of Human Evolutionary History, said, "These cycles may not just be myths, they may be cultural memories of real events. The Great Flood, polar shifts, asteroid impacts. Human civilization did not evolve in a single line, but was interrupted and restarted time and time again." This is an image of the flood era on an ancient Mayan scroll. The waves engulfed the pyramids, the feathered serpent descended from the sky, and the gods opened the new sun. The end of the Fifth Sun Age, as the Mayans called it, does not mean the final judgment. Instead, it suggests that we are entering the Sixth Sun Age, a new era of transformation of consciousness frequency and reconstruction of value system. Let's look at the modern world: high-tech cities, artificial intelligence, social networks, climate change, social unrest. Humanity is facing various turning points: data flooding, faith collapse, ecological collapse, and the spread of loneliness. Perhaps what the Mayans really want to tell us is not the end of the world, but you have reached the crossroads of civilization. 2012 is not the end of the world, but the starting point of a new solar age. According to the interpretation of Mayan elders and modern researchers, we have entered the Sixth Sun Age, a new era known as the Age of Consciousness. According to the inheritors, the Sixth Sun Age will not be dominated by war or technology, but the future direction will be determined by the leap of human mind and consciousness. Mayan researcher and ethnologist Carlos Barrera. The past 5 solar ages represent matter, wind, water, fire, and earth. The sixth solar age does not belong to the elements, but to light, referring to the awakening of the mind and collective consciousness. From the rise of digital civilization to the interaction between AI and the human brain, from the explosion of information to the scarcity of truth, we are standing on the threshold of an unprecedented inner transformation. It is no longer a fight against nature, but a fight against ourselves. On one side, there are rocket launches, metaverse demonstrations, and AI-generated images. On the other side, there are emotional breakdowns, cyberbullying, lack of trust, and young people lost in their virtual identities. Light and shadow interweave, and the future is uncertain. The Sixth Sun Age is not a utopia. It is just a door to a higher consciousness, or it may be the abyss of imbalance. The story of the twin brothers in the Mayan mythology says, light and darkness, deception and sacrifice, duel in the underground world, and finally call the sun back from the darkness. This ancient fable may be a metaphor for the Sixth Sun Age. On the edge of the abyss, do we still have the courage to become guardians of the sun again? Susan Meyerson, an American futurist and consciousness researcher, said, The sixth Sun Age is the age when humans begin to take responsibility for the maturity of the collective mind. It requires us to no longer just be tools for progress, but to evolve ourselves. Susan Meyerson, TED Talk, The Tipping Point of Human Consciousness. Digital reboot, the Stargate has opened. It's no longer a question of who rules the Earth, but rather, do we deserve a future? Prophecy is never meant to create fear, but to remind us that time is not a linear clock, but a mirror that reflects the reincarnation of human beings themselves. What the Mayans left behind are not just stone carvings and calendars, but a philosophy of life that is in tune with the universe. Revere nature, follow the rhythm, respect all things, and purify the inner self. Marie Oviedo, professor of astronomy at the University of Yucatan. Rather than predicting the end of the world, they designed a time structure that can be read, allowing us to reflect on the direction of our civilization at key points. Marie Oviedo. This is the reset time of each round of the long calendar, from the distant past to 2047, 2100, 2600. It's like a hidden metronome set in the Earth's life system, waiting to be listened to. Can we stop waiting for civilization to collapse before we understand its origin? Can we stop asking, when will the disaster come? And instead ask ourselves, how can we stop creating disasters? At key moments in our human history, the Industrial Revolution, the atomic bomb, the moon landing, the rise of the internet, AI big models, bionic chip implants. The sixth sun era is a mirror and a key. It cannot predict the future, but it can reveal all possibilities of the future. The Mayan calendar has not ended. What has really ended is perhaps our old understanding of the world. The words "end of the world" are just a misunderstanding of the translator. Do you believe that time is just a number, or is it a kind of wisdom of living? Please leave your opinion in the comment area, subscribe to the channel, and let us explore the truths that have been forgotten by history and the future. Subscribe, like, comment, share. Turn on the bell and continue to track more forgotten ancient wisdom and future prophecies.